The 1950s were a defining decade for Hollywood leading men. It was a time when charm, masculinity, and screen presence ruled the silver screen. These actors not only defined what it meant to be a star, but also left legacies that continue to influence cinema today. Let's look back at 30 of the most iconic and handsome actors of the 1950s, how they were then, and how they later transformed. Marlon Brando was the ultimate Hollywood rebel, redefining acting with films like A Streetcar, Named Desire, and On the Waterfront. In the 1950s, his raw charisma made him the era's most magnetic star. Later in life, he became a legendary but reclusive figure, his roles in The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, cementing him as one of the greatest of all time. James Dean was the face of youthful rebellion in the 1950s, starring in Rebel Without a Cause. With his brooding looks and tragic early death at just 24, he became an eternal icon, forever frozen in time, as Hollywood's lost prince. Rock Hudson was the epitome of leading man charm in the 1950s, with films like Magnificent Obsession and Giant. His classic good looks and deep voice captivated audiences. In later years, he bravely faced illness in the public eye, remembered today as one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. Tony Curtis was a 1950s heartthrob, known for Some Like It Hot and his playful charisma. In his later years, he embraced his role as a Hollywood elder statesman, remembered fondly for his wit and undeniable charm. Paul Newman emerged in the 1950s with his piercing blue eyes and cool demeanor in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. He aged gracefully into one of Hollywood's most respected actors, balancing stardom with philanthropy until his passing in 2008. Gregory Peck was already a Hollywood giant in the 1950s, admired for roles in Roman Holiday and The Man in the Gray Flannel Suit. Known for his dignified presence, he aged with elegance, his role in To Kill a Mockingbird securing his place as one of cinema's greatest gentlemen. Cary Grant was sophistication personified, still at the top of his career in the 1950s with North by Northwest. Even in his later years, his elegance and suave image never faded, making him timeless in Hollywood history. Clark Gable, the king of Hollywood, carried his 1930s fame into the 1950s, starring in films like The Misfits. With his rugged masculinity, he remained a leading man until his passing in 1960, leaving behind an enduring legacy. Charlton Heston became a major 1950s star with The Ten Commandments. His towering presence and heroic image defined an era. He aged into a respected figure, active in both film and public life until his final years. Frank Sinatra dazzled audiences in the 1950s, not only as a singer, but also as an actor in From Here to Eternity. He evolved from teen idol to elder statesman of entertainment, his voice and style remaining unmatched. William Holden was a 1950s leading man with rugged good looks, starring in Sunset Boulevard and Stalag 17. His career endured into later decades, with his charisma never dimming. James Stewart brought warmth and sincerity to the 1950s with roles in Rear Window and Vertigo. His gentle presence carried through his later years, making him one of America's most beloved actors. Burt Lancaster was known for his athletic build and powerful performances in From Here to Eternity and Elmer Gantry. Even as he aged, his commanding presence never faded, marking him as one of Hollywood's strongest leading men. Kirk Douglas was a 1950s powerhouse, starring in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Passive Glory. His sharp features and fiery spirit made him unforgettable. Living past 100, he remained a living legend until his passing in 2020. Yul Brynner captivated audiences in The King and I with his exotic looks and commanding voice. His bald head became iconic, and his charisma lasted until his final performances. Montgomery Clift was a 1950s idol, known for his sensitivity and depth in films like From Here to Eternity. His later life was troubled, but his legacy as a brilliant actor remains untouched. Anthony Perkins became a star in the late 1950s, known for his boyish charm and friendly persuasion. He later shocked the world as Norman Bates in Psycho, cementing his place in film history. Glenn Ford was a reliable and handsome leading man of the 1950s, remembered for Gilda and Blackboard Jungle. His long career kept him in the spotlight well into his later years. Tab Hunter was a teen idol of the 1950s, with his boy-next-door looks making him a fan favorite. Later, he embraced his identity and became a symbol of Hollywood's hidden history. Robert Mitchum's rugged masculinity made him a 1950s standout, with roles in River of No Return and The Night of the Hunter. He aged into a grizzled veteran actor, still admired for his cool persona. Errol Flynn's swashbuckling image carried into the 1950s, though his career began to fade. Even so, his daring roles kept him a legendary figure long after his passing. Dean Martin brought charm and wit to the 1950s, balancing comedy and music with films like Rio Bravo. He grew into an icon of smoothness, still adored for his effortless style. Alan Ladd, famous for his role in Shane, was a 1950s star known for his stoic presence. His career slowed later, but his image as a Western hero remained. Richard Burton emerged in the late 1950s with his powerful performances and commanding voice. He grew into one of the most acclaimed actors of his generation, known for both his work and his tempestuous personal life. Laurence Olivier was already a legend by the 1950s, but continued to dominate with his Shakespearean gravitas. He aged into one of the greatest actors of the 20th century. Gary Cooper was a symbol of old-school Hollywood masculinity, still active in the early 1950s with films like High Noon. His career ended with dignity, remembered as one of the most respected stars of his time. Jack Lemmon became a rising star in the 1950s, charming audiences with Some Like It Hot. He matured into one of Hollywood's most versatile and beloved actors, working well into his later years. Jerry Lewis brought comedic energy to the 1950s alongside Dean Martin. Later, he became a solo star, remembered for his unique humor and charity work. Tony Randall entered the scene in the late 1950s, known for his refined charm. He went on to enjoy a long career in film and television, always remembered for his sophistication. Looking back, the 1950s were filled with men who embodied a wide range of masculinity: rebellious, sophisticated, rugged, or charming. Some left us too soon, others aged gracefully, but each left behind a mark that still defines Hollywood's golden age.